Hey yo, it's FARO FAUCET, and when I drip, you sip. Welcome to my matrix. Today's drip is called The Misinformation of Puerto Ricans. Let's take a sip. There seems to be some confusion, and the topic continues to present itself. Like, what is a Puerto Rican? Like, what really, right, Luna? What is a Puerto Rican? There seems to be some kind of confusion as to what a real Puerto Rican is, or what is a Puerto Rican. Allow me to clarify. When I was 14 years old, I decided I'm going to do my own research and learn what a Puerto Rican is. Much of this was because of things I was hearing, like things that were told to me. Like, see, when I grew up, I realized that this is not an experience for everyone, but all of my teachers were black except maybe one or two people, right? So I was raised in a predominantly black neighborhood, and all my teachers were also black. So your teachers are kind of like your second parents. You know what I'm saying? Because they do take care of you while your parents are away, right? It's pretty much daycare. But obviously, you're learning something at school. So, yeah, I've been told some things as a kid growing up. Like, I had a teacher once tell me, we're all black. Now I hear that and I'm like, what? Huh? I don't know. What the fuck? You telling, how old was I? This is, I believe this was fifth grade. Fifth or third grade. Let's say third grade. But yeah, this was the first time this idea was brought to my attention, or I was made aware of it. So we're talking like 1998, something like that, 1999. So by the time I was 14, I decided, let me figure this out, because that was a really interesting statement. And, you know, growing up in a Puerto Rican household in New York City in the 80s, 90s, things were a little different, you know? Like, I don't know. We were less racist, but still there was racism, of course. So, but it's just weird the way, that's a whole new topic of racism and how it was then compared to how it is now. But anyway, it seemed like to me I was more Spanish. There was more Spanish more than anything else, you know? And I think that's because, like, my mom's side, they have really straight hair and they're really light skinned. And so for me to have curly hair, it was kind of like weird. And they would call it like, I would just say, they basically would say it was crazy, you know? And it obviously always bothered me because I've always had big curly hair. I wish I still had my hair as big as it was when I was younger. But yeah, it was super thick and super curly and super big and just outrageous, you know? So because I was constantly told that my hair was bad, you know, like bad, kinky, looks crazy in Spanish, like loca. And I'm like, I used to like relax my hair when I was a kid. Literally, I would, they would take me to the beauty supply and buy me Cream of Nature. Well, actually, I picked Cream of Nature. That's the one I liked. We used to use the olive one. I forget what you call it. It was olive something, right? Am I bugging? Anyway, but then I noticed Cream of Nature and I was like, yeah, I want to try Cream of Nature. And I loved Cream of Nature. It works really, really worked really. It will kill your hair, bro. And anyway, I was doing this at 10, 11, imagine 12 years old, putting all that chemicals on my hair. This became a routine for me. But anyway, again, 14 years old, I go read the book. Oh, well, I go to the library, choose a book. I find the history books, and I see a couple of books about Puerto Rican history, and I decide, you know what, let me get this one, and it's called The History of the New Yorican. Now, of course, this is super interesting to me because I am from New York, right? So I read the book. Basically, I learned from this book that Puerto Ricans are literally a third black. And, it was always known, I always knew that there was some Indian in us, Native American, not really Native American, Taino. I would always hear this word growing up, Taino, Taino, Taino. You're Taino Indian, you're Taino. And I'm like, okay, that's so cool. Like, I'm so Indian. That's awesome. But no one told me about the black part. Like, no one mentioned that part. So when I was reading the book and they explain, how the slave trade worked and how it started, and the fact that the Spaniards brought their slaves over to the islands of DR and Puerto Rico, which weren't Puerto Rico and DR at the time. They were just little islands, I guess, that they stumbled across. And they just raped and pillaged all the women and killed the men, right? And that's how we got Puerto Ricans, because the Spaniards, said, hold up, we see something we like, maybe we can take it. And then they took it. And then the slaves that they had on their ships, they all intermingled and whatnot. And they had a little, one blast of an orgy on these undiscovered islands. And that's how you got Puerto Ricans. So Puerto Ricans, okay, are black, Spaniard, Taino Indian, Spaniard, black. So like, we're black, but we're not all black. Okay, which leads me to my second point on Puerto Ricans. We are not Afro-Latinas or Latinos. No. We are Puerto Rican. Okay? It's really that simple. I'm not trying to insult any other race. It's not about who's who or what's what. I know that sounds confusing, but what I'm saying is it's our own, right? Like, everyone has their own. So like, when it comes to Puerto Ricans, we're Puerto Rican. That's it. There's no Afro-Latino this, Afro-Latina that. There's no reason for the Afro. You know why? Because it's redundant. Understand? It's redundant. There's no need to like repeat or re-mention something that goes without mention. And here's my point. Another one. Basically, the original point is people don't know what Puerto Ricans are. So that's what I'm here for today. To let you know that a Puerto Rican is black, Spaniard, and Taino Indian. Now, let's go and move on to the topic of Taino Indians. What are Taino Indians? Well, I wish I can tell you much about them, but I can't because my ancestry was wiped the out, genocided. They killed all the men. Now, they say that there are some of us that carry Taino Indian blood and DNA, which obviously, of course, we do. But to say that there is a pure Taino Indian alive, I don't think so, right? So our culture in regard to the Taino Indian heritage and connection is pretty much lost and kind of a mystery. There is some information out there. You will find information. But there's not much, you know. So there's that. Excuse me. And yeah, where everyone knows about the Spaniard part, right? So, yeah. Puerto Ricans are mutts. We're just a bunch of horny cultures that got together at one point and literally created an entire new specimen of human called the Puerto Rican. Here's another fun fact about Puerto Ricans. I know everyone was so mad at Tony Hinchcliffe about that joke, the garbage joke. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know if, you know what? I think I know. Most people don't know this, but literally Puerto Ricans who live on the island, who are literally residents of Puerto Rico, cannot vote for the U.S. president. So what that means is that Puerto Rico is not a state. Puerto Rico is not a state. It's not. And I don't know where this confusion came from. I really don't know where all this miseducation, misinformation on Puerto Ricans. I don't know why or what. But again, that's what I'm here for. Puerto Rico is not a state, all right? It's a commonwealth. What it really means is that the U.S. bent us over and said, F you. We're going to take what you have. We're going to tell you what to do, but we don't own you. I mean, that's the U.S., you know? It sounds like they just want to do the same thing to Greenland. I'm not sure though. That's my question. Do they want to take Greenland and do the same thing they did to PR? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but it sounds like they actually want to own Greenland. So like that's like a slap to our face because like goddamn, you want to own them, but not us. Okay. Fine. Par carajo then. Right? So yeah. Asthma and all. I had to get this message out. And also, wait, hold on. Before I go, this was the whole major point of this episode. I wanted to show you proof that for some reason, you might as well, maybe the world, not just the US, believes that Puerto Rico is a state. This guy, Josh, right? So, what's it? Exploring with Josh? That's his YouTube channel. AI brought him up to me recently. I don't know why, but it did. And it recommended this video about an abandoned 5-star hotel resort. And coincidentally, this video was recorded in Puerto Rico. And it had to do with a Puerto Rican resort that for some reason, actually not for some reason, it was due to the hurricane. I think it was Maria. They lost their funds. They weren't able to reopen. And it was just too much of a hassle and financially just nearly impossible to keep up with. So it remained abandoned. And so Josh goes to the resort to, produce one of his episodes. Now, while I'm watching this, I noticed something. And literally, I almost didn't care to stop and note what I saw. But it was just, I guess, so incorrect that my brain was like, no. Go back, see what the hell you just saw. Let me make sure so I go back a couple of seconds and lo and behold, it is what I saw. And I'm like, no wonder people think Puerto Rico's a state. I'll show you right now.
It's kind of secluded away from all tourism stuff. And I think because of that, it wasn't able to get fully booked a lot. And it's stuff like that on why places like these close. Not enough people, can't fund it, and it caused, destruction. And the hurricane ruined everything.
Hurricane Maria's punishing winds pummeled Puerto Rico hours before the eye came ashore. Sustained winds were 155 miles per hour when the storm made landfall at 6:30 Wednesday morning.
Okay. Did you see it? I don't know if you saw it. Let me run it back for you. One sec.
Hurricane Maria that hit.
The eye came ashore. Sustained.
What is that? What does this say there, bro? What? You see, it's hard for me to point it. Right there. You see where it says? Like, right there? It says United States. This is channel 2, right? That's what I'm seeing there? Right, that's channel 2. Who's channel 2 again? Is that ABC? ABC, is that a thing? NBC? CBS. Wow, I'm so lost. I'm so disconnected. But that big company, you know that. Guys, hold on, guys.
Winds were 150.
What the? That is PR, right? That's PR? That is not the United States. But it says it though. So yeah. That's all I got for you. That honestly, seeing that again is just it's sobering. It's because that's just one detail. what else goes unnoticed but subconsciously programmed in our minds? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you for watching, and I sure hope to have another episode cranked out really soon. But for now, I just want to thank you for stopping by. Anyway, until next time, you have a good one. Ciao.